And that's it. Lady, I'm ready. Said I'm searching. Lady, I'm ready. Lady. I need a love to face life till I'm finished. I won't stop till I find my lady. It's she, you.
Yeah. Bang, bang, boogie. Yeah, we're back for another one, a banger today. And guess what? I'm not even going to get on LeBron today. We moved on to bigger, better things. So with that being said, y'all already know that music sponsored by, and the show is sponsored by D-Minds Music. We got some more coming up next week. Just got in contact with them. We'll have another banger. But from that one, um, I'm just gonna play partial song. But anyway, that's what the music sponsored by. You know, he sponsors the show at D-Mind Music. Always, always, always. I'm gonna shout out my boys over there at Sitting Politic. They doing their thing. You can also check them out on my channel as well as we do collabs. Pretty much once a week, couple times a week, if not more. Um, and then y'all already know your boy. And I keep saying I'm gonna change this name, but I am gonna change it to Gates Open Media. You know what I'm saying? I think obviously Gates Open Warner Media Group is too long. What I'm finding out, some people complaining. So you know what I'm saying? They say somebody says it sound like a record label. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's cool though. But Gates Open Media is what it's gonna change to. But for now, go over there and y'all check me out at Gates Open Warner Media Group on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, donate to the channel. We love y'all out there. Help the channel build so we can get more equipment for this thing to act right. So far so good today. But anyway, with that being said, first topic of the day. We're gonna get on Steph a little bit and the Warriors. But like I've been saying, and I just want to ask a question to you guys. What does Draymond Green mean to Steph, Klay, and the Warriors? What does he mean to them? As we see, the first game he came back, I believe Steph went for 47 the other night. But what does he mean to them, not only as players, but as an organization? What does he mean? Why did they give him a big old contract? Being that he doesn't really do much offensively as in scoring. Um, he get close to a triple double every game. He might be 9, 10 points, 8, 9 rebounds, 8, 9 assists. That's pretty much Draymond. So what does he mean? And I've been saying this. Like people ask, well, what's going on with the Warriors? What's going on with the Warriors? Draymond was the problem with the Warriors. He was out. He's been out. The offense doesn't move as fluidly when he's not pretty much the point forward. The Scottie Pippen of today, the Lamar Odom of today, whatever you want to call it. That's why the Warriors have lost a lot of games. So I ain't gonna say a lot, but their offense doesn't look normal. When they played the Lakers, their offense got stagnant. When they come down, what are they doing? Typically, they're just setting up an offense. But the teams that are beating the Lakers, the biggest thing that they're doing is they're getting up and down the floor. LeBron has offensively been having a pretty good season offensively. But when the Lakers are able to slow the pace down, then they're in games more. But that's why the Lakers are able to beat them. It's simply because they're not pushing the ball. What does Draymond Green do? Get the ball out the basket, or if they make the shot, get up in the transition. And that's what Draymond has been able to do. I can see plays as they develop. I'm not going to say before anybody else can see them, but I can see the plays develop. They do one play all the time. Steph will give it to him. Then he'll curl around under the basket, out to the short 3-point line. Bam, every time. Every time I've been seeing that for years and years and years, and for whatever reason, nobody else is catching it. Draymond Green is actually the ultimate playmaker on that team. If you ask me, yes, Steph makes plays and can take people off the dribble, but Draymond, with most power forwards, they can't guard him. Maybe they can use a small forward on him, but at the end of the day, Draymond is the person that gets that thing going. And they're tough to beat. I think they beat the Suns 2 out of 3 this year so far. I don't know if they play them again, but I know they beat them. But the Suns, man, I tell you, very, very, very tough. Them boys hungry. They they look different. But then they're deep, and then also the Warriors are deep. But I think in that depth, the the Suns have more age in their depth. And I'm not talking about like they're old. I'm just saying that they have more depth and what you want to call it, and experience. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for, I think, for the Warriors to actually beat them in a 7 game series if that even happened. But Draymond is the is the grounding block to that whole team, I think, and we'll see. I mean, obviously they've only played 1 game, but if you pay attention, you'll see. I think they'll win majority of these last games left. They probably have about 14, 15 games left. They'll probably win. I'll say, well, depending on their placing, where they feel comfortable sitting in the playoff run, but they'll probably win 12 out of 15 games that they have left. I think they have 15 left. And then Klay. It takes the shoot with him and Klay, it takes the ease. Klay is just, I ain't gonna say just, but mainly a spot up shooter more so. He's not really a playmaker. Um, but he just has such a quick release. I mean, Steph's released a little quicker, but neither one of them need much space. Both of them can shoot from deep, so it's just a beautiful thing to see. Steph is my favorite player as of now, but still, and to the organization, why you think they gave Draymond that money? Um, they could have got somebody else, I believe. They could have got somebody else, but they wouldn't be able to do the things that Draymond does, and that's the glue to the team. And I believe the organization understands that is Draymond actually gets these boys in position. He demands on the defense. He puts them in position, put the ball right where it needs to be. Um, so I think that's that organization actually seen that, and at the end of the day, they're like, man, we can't get rid of this guy because he's the glue. He does everything. He does everything on the team, even those stats that you don't see, that don't show up in the stat book. Those are the things that Draymond is doing to be the glue for this team, this organization. And to be honest, I don't think we're gonna see how this injury go that he just had, because right now Draymond just signed a deal. I don't know if it was at TNT or what organization it was, but he's going to be doing a lot of interviewing and stuff like that, or analyzing, being an analyst anyway. So I think that's going to be big, but we're going to see where that injury is going. I think he's just setting himself up for the future, but I think that's also part of Clutch Sports. I'm pretty sure he signed up with Clutch Sports, and to be honest, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing that some of the things they're doing over there at Clutch Sports makes for a better league. It makes for a better player empowerment. It makes for a better, okay, let me start setting myself up for retirement. What am I going to do next? Because a lot of players, as we see, they don't have that next step. They don't have that next step. They talk about it on I Am Athlete and also the Pivot a lot. What are you going to do once it's all over? You got to retire at some point. So I think Clutch, does a good job at that from what I'm seeing anyway, setting these people up for a future after basketball. What else we got on the plate today? So if the Warriors were able to actually get back to the finals, I think Curry has some unfinished business. Y'all know Curry's my favorite player right now. But unlike some of the LeBron James fans, I can see the pictures. Uh, Curry has played great throughout the NBA playoffs, but when it gets to the finals, he's come up short a couple times. He's come up short a few times to where he's not even now. If you're losing and you're playing good basketball, that's one thing. But if you're losing and your team and you're not kind of showing up, that's a whole nother. A whole nother ball game. But as we know, if you ever played ball before, I don't care what sport you play. When you get into the playoffs, when you get into the finals of the games, it comes down to defense. So those defenses get better. Therefore, it's going to be more difficult for Steph to get that shot off. Some cases he's going to have to be a decoy. The other night when they played, and Klay went for 37, I believe. I personally believe Steph was just a decoy and letting Klay go off. I'm not saying for him to do that in the finals or something like that. But what I am saying is he has to show me something. He's gonna have to show me something in the finals if they make it to the finals. Because I think he's played well throughout his playoff career, but once it comes to the finals, he's kind of went missing. Well, I ain't gonna say missing because he does shoot. It's not like he go into a shell and don't even shoot the ball, but he gets cold. He gets cold, and that ain't good. I can understand a game or two, but the entire finals, and it's happened a good 2 or 3 times. It's happened a good 2 or 3 times. So, Steph, you don't get no more excuses for that, buddy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not emotional about this. This is what we do. I get up here and I criticize these players. And I don't feel sorry for them either because they make tons of money. But that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I understand they're human and different things like that. On the court is one thing. Off the court, hey, it is what it is off the court. You know what I mean? But on the court, I'm going to criticize you if you don't show up. Definitely don't show up in the big games. That's what make legacies. That's what make careers. That's what um, that's what puts you in a top 10 discussion. You know what I mean? And Steffi definitely changed the game. And right now, I don't think he's in the top 10 play as a player, as an individual player. Probably before he retires, he'll be there. But at this point, I don't think he's there. And once again, this is my favorite player. So, you know what I'm saying? I talk about all of them. Yeah. Bang, bang, boogie. Got to be more careful, boy, I tell you. Got to be more careful, boy, I tell you. I'm always first. I'm never next.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Yeah. So, so yeah, Steph got some unfinished business to do. You know what I mean? So hopefully he can get that done. I'm pushing for him to make it to the win this thing, to be honest. That's my team. The only thing that scared me is Stephen A said that they'll win. So typically when Stephen A says the team's gonna win, they're not gonna win. So Stephen A, shut up. And hey, Stephen A, what you doing at them colleges, boy? Huh? What you doing at them colleges? You know what I'm talking about. So anyway, so it's still a little early, right? It's still a little early from that blockbuster trade where we had Ben Simmons and James Harden, got traded for each other pretty much. And then also, the Nets got Seth Curry and they got Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond just had 18 the other night, gave them another big body, which I thought was awesome. Then you get Seth Curry. So you gotta think about it. Like some people say, "Oh, Philly won this trade." Da 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 da. No, Philly didn't win that trade. The Nets won that trade because you got draft picks. Philly got draft picks. I'm sorry. The Nets got draft picks. They got a big man, and they got Seth Curry. They got more depth. In the Philly lost depth, and they lost 2 key players too. They lost 2 key players. I don't know who else Philly got coming off the bench at the center position, but I thought that was pretty big. And then you trade them within the Eastern Conference. So now, obviously, you got a plan, which they just played the other night, and beat the dog snot out of him. And looks like James Harden had two nice games, real nice games. But I think he's come down to earth simply because KD, Kyrie locked him up. Because it was said in practice that Kyrie was locking him up so bad and he was getting mad. And then also they was drawing, whenever they draw a play up for KD, he got mad. So at the end of the day, what I think is James Harden is who we thought he was. You are who we thought you are. That sound make no sense. You are who we thought you was. Definitely. He got fat. He wasn't really doing nothing with the Nets. And he was just playing mediocre. The same thing he was doing when he got ready to leave the Rockets. So, I mean, it's yet to be seen. And also, we ain't seen Ben Simmons play, but they just beat them without Ben Simmons. So, think about it. You add Ben Simmons to that mix, it's just like adding Draymond Green back. But obviously, it's a little difference because they haven't played together. There's a lot of difference because they haven't played together. But at the end of the day, it's going to be big. If he can get back with 10 games to go in the regular season so they can get to learn each other a little bit, that'll be major. That'll be major. He's a defensive presence. He ain't going to shoot the ball, obviously, but you can just dish that thing out to KD and Kyrie, and then you got some Seth. You got so many shooters on that team. It's crazy. Then the one guy, I think he was hurt. I can't think of his name, but just think about Rondo. Think about Rondo. Rondo, when he was healthy and young, he was tenacious on the defensive end, but he couldn't shoot. But he was dishing that thing out to them boys, KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. So just think about that. Think about a Draymond, a bigger Draymond. Man, there's gonna be trouble out there in the East. So we'll see what that brings up. But I still think the Nets got the better of that deal. But James Harden, I think he is who we thought he was. And then I think at the end of the day, what's going to happen is he's going to get Doc Rivers will end up getting fired this year. I don't think Doc Rivers is a great coach, but Doc Rivers will end up getting fired this year. And then Daryl Morey is going to bring in Mike D'Antoni. Y'all think about it. Daryl Morey was out there in Houston. So James Harden said himself that his ultimate goal was to get to Philly. But for whatever reason, I don't know if packages couldn't work out or whatever, but I think he wanted to go to Philly, but he's like, hey, let me stop over here and get this chip first. Let me get this chip in New Jersey with the Nets, and then I go play in Philly, get the money, and don't even have to worry about ever winning the chip again. So I think that's what actually happened, but they fell short because everybody was hurt. Because if y'all remember those first two games, both of those first two games, they basically blew out the Milwaukee Bucks. They blew them boys out. Wasn't even a contest. Now, one of them, the score ended up being a little bit closer at the end once you put in the third stringers and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that second game, they blew them out the water. And then they still beat them 2 more without Kyrie and Harden. Or Harden was, a third of itself. So y'all got to just think about that, because that's what I think James Harden was going to do. He said in the press conference, hey, I just wanted to get over here to Philly anyway. So I think he just made a pit stop over there, let Daryl Morey over here do the things he need to do. And Daryl Morey wasn't trading Ben Simmons for nobody but James Harden. Trust that. And I think Doc Rivers will end up getting fired this year. Especially if they don't win the whole thing, he'll get fired this year. And then Mike D'Antoni is going to come in, and they're going to try to run that thing back with an Embiid, who obviously is better than Clint Capella. But we'll see how that runs, because, and I believe they're going to try to get D'Antoni, because it's been reported that James Harden was pissed off that they even called plays for KD. Who does this guy think he is? He's not better than KD. So anyway, we'll see about that. we'll see how that game, how that thing goes. Um, and yeah, that was about it. But I wanted to, I forgot about this. I wanted to key this up and let y'all know, kind of analyze this a little bit. What Curry actually said about Draymond in the post game conference interview. I'm sorry, post game interview. So we're gonna key this up and let me know if y'all can hear it. But we're gonna key this up with and I'm gonna try to break it down as you go through. So I'm gonna stop it here and there.
Draymond checks in the first time, and I guess the play was called for you to get that spot. How did that all work out in your mind as it was developing?
I mean, we have certain calls when, obviously, when he's on the floor, and especially when him and Loon are on the floor. So we can.
So right there, you heard that they got special calls when Draymond is on the floor. Him and Javon, what's his name, Javon Looney, something like that, because they know each other. If you ever play basketball for really any sport, that's not like tennis or something, but any team sport, you already know. Y'all gonna feed off each other, eye contact, all these different forms of communication you're gonna be using with your teammate. So this is one reason why it's important to have Draymond back as I continue.
And I sleep.
I'm gonna speed it up.
And he's been out however many games, and you get right back to it. So it's kind of good energy, good vibes from the jump. And he obviously knows how to make the right play, and our timing and everything was awesome tonight.
You made all 7 of your threes with Draymond.
So wait, hold up.
On the court, does your shot feel different when he's on the court? What's unique about that?
Just chemistry and understanding of how to create good looks, especially when I'm off the ball or if he's in the pick and roll. 10 years of that, so it should be.
Bam, there you go. Hold up. Bang, bang, boogie. Bang, bang, boogie. You heard the man. 10 years of experience for playing with each other. That is priceless. Even though Draymond been hurt for, about a month. Oh man, I think he's been hurt since January. So about a month and a half, 2 months, or whatever. He comes back right ready to go. Right back where they left off. And that's so priceless. And that's why another reason he's important to this organization. Let's finish.
Can it be surprising though, like how open he can get you at times with screens? There was one play in transition where he was like basically bulldozing the guy in front of you.
Like I said, it's just, obviously he's amazing at reading plays, whether he's the one playmaking or he's setting a screen. He knows how to sacrifice his body. He's been doing it for a very long time, and you'll make him and you'll help him.
Bang, bang, boogie. There we go again. He's the one playmaking, sacrificing his body, whether he's making a play or playmaking. That experience, that just all of that is so important as you're trying to make a run to the finals and get to the finals and hopefully win it. Just having Draymond back on that court is priceless for those guys.
Get open for years, so it's a clinic in terms of how you impact the game. Even if you're not the one getting the shots, and you can see how contagious the energy is. Even if we don't make them, like getting an open look is demoralizing for the defense with the amount of offensive weapons we have. And if you're out there for big stretches of the game, especially for the young guys, I understand like it's going to come back around when you create good offense that way.
You've had a lot of moments this year, like as a team and you individually, and then tonight you guys get back on the court for the first time in 2.5 years. What's it been like? Have you ever had a season like this where you have all these kind of emotional benchmarks?
Yeah, so I think he finished talking about Draymond right there. But they was going into talking about them playing together again. It's the first time in 2.5 years. Klay got hurt in the finals against in 2019 against Toronto. So having all them back together to play again. I mean, we're gonna see at the end of the day, was this a real dynasty? I mean, we know it was a dynasty, but will it continue? Will it stop? Will they get to the finals and lose? Will they lose before the final? Obviously, we're gonna find all those things out. But how much more gas they got in the tank? Because they got some young guys down there too. Moody and Kuminga, Gary Payton Jr. They got some young bloods down there too, ready to take over the organization here pretty soon. So, and they got Andrew Wiggins out there, which, I mean, he's been in the league a few years, but he's younger than those guys. So, I think he came in the league like 2014 or 15. He was a rookie the year LeBron went back to Cleveland. So I don't know what season that was, but I think it was 2014-15 season. Yep, because the Warriors beat them in the finals. So, like I say, it's priceless.
Together again.
It was magical. I mean, looking forward to these future games as well because we're going to rebuild our chemistry and just have fun while doing it and appreciate every night we have with each other. What does this passing in particular do for you guys? Gets us open shots, gets us in the rhythm of the offense, and just gets us going.
And that's one big thing about the Warriors. If you've seen them play, they really pass the ball. The Phoenix Suns, they really pass the ball around, and the ball just really doesn't stick. You'll see some teams that stick, and then they'll go to play a one-on-one ball. But the Warriors, that's what they might pass up a shot and bring it back around just to get the defense moving. Also, it makes you tired as well on defense. So that's big.
It's people going. Draymond said that he got the good ovation because he came off the bench, and he advised you that you should do the same in your comeback game. Did you notice that? Did you feel the difference he got coming out as a bench player?
I thought that was cool. I mean, our fans really appreciate him, and so do we. But I mean, our situation's a little different. I mean, I waited a little longer, so I was really eager to get out there.
You got this, you, Jordan, and Steph now. This combination definitely seems to be catching fire here. What do you feel about it? What does it give you guys?
A lot of spacing, a lot of playmaking between Jordan and Steph, and great.
Bang, bang, boogie. Spacing, people. I've said that. People laughed at me. I said, if I get to pick, I'm always taking Michael Jordan number 1. And I'll take Steph number 2. Why? Because of spacing. Whether he's hitting or not, he can be missing everything. But it's all because of spacing that other people will eat. Other people will eat. Other people will be open. You got to guard Steph soon as he cross half court. So it's about spacing that, and that's what also makes the Warriors so deadly. It's because they can spread you out so far from the basket that you can't help. You can't have help defense as easily when they crash the middle or whatever the case may be, and then you go down to help. You too far out to help in some instances. So that is so important, and that's why I always said I would take Steph as my number 2 overall player. I'm not saying Steph is the second best player of all time of basketball. I just said that I would take him number 2 simply because I'm getting Jordan 1 always, and then I'll take Steph 2. Hold up.
And just so much firepower on the offensive end. I mean, JP is playing incredible, and I'm just really proud of the way he's gotten better every year. And for such a young player to be as composed as he is, it's
You running on the left side there. He was motioning to you. Were you, okay, wait a minute, I got to go here because I know what was going through your head there?
Just set a pin down for Steph or cut to the rim. Draymond's an incredible passer, and he really threaded the needle on that one. And I haven't felt that feeling in some years, so that was really, really nice to feel that again. And I look forward to that.
Bang, bang, boogie. I'm telling y'all, man. Look, I think the Warriors are back. I mean, the only team, honestly, I think can beat the Warriors is Milwaukee. I mean, I'm sorry. The only team I think can possibly beat the Warriors is the Phoenix Suns. And if they get Wiseman back, it's going to be real tough. And Wiseman's going to give you some size so they can get some rebounds, because that's another reason the Lakers end up beating Steph them, because they don't have much size down there. But if they can get Wiseman back, whoo. And Looney, I just learned Looney's only 6'9". So he has some long arms, but man, he's short, to be a center anyway. But if they get Wiseman back, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to beat them boys. DeAndre against Wiseman. You know what I'm saying? Wiseman is, I ain't gonna say he pretty much is just past a rookie, because he got hurt last year. Last year was his rookie season. But I think it's gonna be very tough to beat the Warriors. But if I've had anybody to beat the Warriors, it would be the Suns. And them boys super hungry too. So I think outside of Chris Paul, for the most part, the Warriors have the experience. They've been to 5 finals. Hell, I think 5 straight finals. Yep, 5 straight finals the Warriors have been to. So they have the experience. They still have some youth. So you're not just going to run up and down the court on them. They probably got another 2 years of that, Klay and Steph and Draymond. But as of right now, you can't just run up and down on the court like you can the Lakers. So it's all yet to be seen, though. Like I said, I think Draymond at the end of the day coming back is very important, priceless for the Warriors, and I think that's gonna be to hopefully push them to that next level and get them a championship this year. But we'll see. We will see. Do I? And coming out the East, if Ben Simmons comes back, I think KD will come out the East. If nobody gets hurt, Ben Simmons comes back. I think the Nets will come out the East, and it'll be so pleasant to see the Nets versus the Warriors. Tell me the NBA don't want that. Tell me the NBA don't want that to happen. I know they want that to happen because the storylines from that are stupid. The storylines on that will be crazy, and I want to see that one. You know what I mean? Then we Klay. Basically Steph against KD. I mean, obviously he ain't gonna guard KD, but you'll see him in some mismatches against KD, and there ain't nothing he can do about it. So anyway, folks, that's it. Y'all already know how we do. Check out my boys over there, Sitting Politic podcast, where we do shows once a week. We get down to the nitty gritty. You know what I mean? Also, go over to Gates Open Warner Media Group. Y'all comment, like, subscribe. Come on, man. Please help me out. You know what I'm saying? A like and a comment and subscribing don't cost you a thing. Yes, if you want to donate, you know what I'm saying, to the Cash App to help the channel out, please help the channel out. But going over there to Gates Open Warner Media Group, like, comment, and subscribe, that's probably, that don't cost you anything, baby. Appreciate you. And then, music is always sponsored by Yayo. As we exit this thing, y'all know how we do. You already know.
Yeah.
Like I say, new music coming next week. But hey, they don't make it like this no more.
With this one right here.
Yeah.
It's for the grown and sexy.
Grown and sexy girl. Yeah. Lady, I'm ready.
Said I'm searching. Lady, I'm ready. Lady. I need a love to face life till I'm finished. I won't stop till I find my lady. Is she you? Sick and tired of wondering, is my special lady waiting for a love that's true? No waiting up down, no playing around, yeah. There is no prenup, just affection and commitment. If you're out there listening, I'm calling you, girl. So I'm looking for love. Said I'm searching for love. Lady, I'm ready. I need a love to face life till I'm finished. I won't stop till I find my lady. Is she you? In and out relationships, left with memories past tense, yeah. So what do? I'm holding on. Now I let them go. I've searched the world over. Yeah, she's still undiscovered. I refuse to quit now. I'm in my vow. I'm ready for love. Said I'm searching. Have you seen her? Have you seen my baby? I'm ready for love. I need a love that tastes
right, folks. Appreciate y'all. Love you. See y'all next time.